In this video, we're going to go through how to do metric conversion involving multiple prefixes, like going from nanosecond to kilosecond, megaliter going to picoliter, gigameter cube going to hectometer cube, just to name a few. I'm going to share with you a foolproof method and tips to make sure you'll be able to do the conversion successfully. I've talked about SI prefixes and an easy way to remember all 12 prefixes in a video I've posted last week. Do watch it if you haven't seen it. The link is on the top right corner and in the description box below. I also went through a foolproof method for converting between units in a video I've posted recently. Do check it out if you need an intro on this method. We'll be using the same method in this video and we'll expand on it since we'll be performing multi-steps conversion. Let's start with our first example. Question is asking us to convert from nanosecond to kilosecond. So since this involves two prefixes, I'm gonna break it down where I will convert from nanosecond to second and then second to kilosecond. That will involve two conversions. The reason why I'm not going from nano all the way to kilo is because I don't know or I can't be bothered to memorize the relationship between nano to kilo. Whereas I remember the prefixes, so I can always go back and forth between prefix to the base. So even though it involves two steps, to me it's a safer method. So recall, nano is 10 to the power of -9, so 1 nanosecond is 10 to the -9 second. And then we go from second to kilosecond. So 1 kilosecond is 10 to the power of 3 second. Knowing these two prefixes is what we're gonna need to convert from nanosecond to kilosecond. So let's start with what we are given, 41 nanosecond. Multiply, draw a line across. So we're gonna place nanosecond at the bottom so we can cancel it off later. And then we're going to place the unit that we want. The first step of conversion is going to be from nanosecond to second. That means I'm going to place my second on the top here. That way, my nanosecond will cancel off, so now I have second. Then we place in the value, so the first relationship is 1 for nanosecond, 10 to the -9 for second. So right now, what we have is the unit for second. So from second, we are going to convert it to kilosecond. So I'm just going to do everything in one shot, which makes life easy. So multiply, draw a line across. So now take a guess, what's the unit we're going to place at the bottom? Second. So that way, second and second can cancel off. And the unit we're going to place on top is the unit that we want, which is kilosecond. So second cancel off each other and we'll be left with kilosecond. Now, the next thing we need to do is place in the values. So in front of kilosecond, it should be 1. In front of second, it should be 10 to the power of 3. So when we do the math, we punch in the calculator, 41 times 10 to the power of -9 times 1, divide by 1, divide by 10 to the power of 3. That will give us 4.1 times 10 to the -11 kilosecond. In fact, you don't have to worry about multiply 1 divide by 1 because anything multiplied by 1 or divide by 1 is anything, whatever that value is. Let's practice using another example. Now we're gonna convert from 0.0832 megaliter to picoliter. So we're going from megaliter to picoliter. So the two prefixes involved here is mega and pico. So we should go from megaliter to liter and then liter to picoliter. That way we don't have to crack our head and try to find out the relationship between mega all the way to pico. We can break it down going from mega going to the base unit and then from the base unit going to pico. So mega is 10 to the power of 6. Pico is 10 to the power of -12. So we'll do the same way, everything in one shot. Start off with a value that's given, 0.832 megaliter. Multiply, draw a line across. So we're going to place megaliter on the bottom and we're going to place liter on the top because we're going to convert from megaliter to its base unit, which is liter. Now the megaliter will cancel off each other. That will leave us with liter. Now we're going to put in the value. So we put 1 in front of megaliter and 10 to the power of 6 in front of liter. Now we're going to do the second step of the conversion, which is from liter to picoliter. So multiply, draw a line across, and then we're going to place liter at the bottom and picoliter on the top. So that way, liter and liter can cancel off and we'll end up with picoliter. And then the same thing, put in the numbers, 1 in front of PL, 10 to the negative 12 in front of liter. And that will give us 8.32 times 10 to the power of 17 picoliter. Now for our final example, let's do something a little bit more difficult. Let's convert 6.3 gigameter square to hectometer square. So we're going from gm cube to hm cube. Again, as what we've done, let's break it down to two parts. So we go from giga to base unit to hecto. From the prefix, we know 1 giga is 10 to the 9, 1 hecto is 10 to the 2. So we start off by 6.3 gigameter square, and then we multiply and we draw a line across. And so we're gonna place gigameter at the bottom and meter on the top. From the first conversion, we place 1 in front of gigameter, 10 to the 9 in front of meter. So far it's the same as the last two examples. Before we proceed, we need to square everything so that gigameter square can cancel off with gigameter square. So now we have meter square on the top. So we go through the same conversion, multiply, draw a line across, and then we place meter at the bottom so that later we can cancel out the meter, hectometer on the top, because that's the unit that we want, but we're not there yet. Let's place in the numbers. 1 for hectometer, 10 to the power of 2 in front of meter. Now we need to do the same thing, which is square everything so that meter square can cancel off with meter square. To simplify everything so it's easier to read, I'm going to retype it out. 6.3 gigameter square times 10 to the power of 18 meter square over 1 gigameter square times 1 hectometer square over 10 to the power of 4 meter square. So our gigameter square will cancel each other out and our meter square will cancel each other out. So after doing the math, 6.3 times 10 to the 18 over 10 to the 4, that will give us 6.3 times 10 to the 14. And the unit is going to be hectometer square. In the first line of our calculation, if you had missed out the square, your answer is going to be wrong. So please make sure whenever you have questions involving like squares or cube, when you put in the conversion factor, please make sure you remember to put in the square or the cube. In this example, it's square. So you need to make sure that you put in the square. Otherwise, your answer is going to be wrong. We went through 3 examples together. So how about you try one on your own? Try converting 0.84 nanometer to kilometer. I'll place the answer in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.